Final Fantasy XIV director Naoki Yoshida, also known as Yoshi P, shared the news in an announcement on the official Final Fantasy XIV website that the major expansion Endwalker will be delayed by a couple of weeks, moving the release date to December 7th. The post shared new dates pushing the early access as well, which players can gain from pre-ordering the expansion. The start of the early access will now start on December 3rd, patch 6.01 will be pushed to December 21st, and patch 6.05 coming on January 4th, 2022. The expansion is the largest expansion in the entire history of Final Fantasy XIV, which Yoshi P outlines as a huge undertaking. A new trailer also was shared featuring the upcoming story for Endwalker. Another delay announced is for Marvel's Midnight Suns. Originally set to launch for March 2022, Marvel's Midnight Suns will now release in the last half of 2022. Developer Firaxis announced that the card-driven turn-based RPG will be delayed to later next year, sharing that a tough decision was made in order to gain more time to make this the best game possible. The post goes on to say that the additional months in development will go towards more story, cinematics, and overall polish. Marvel's Midnight Suns was first announced during Gamescom 2021 in August, where the developer Firaxis, who is behind XCOM, revealed a Marvel set card-based turn-based RPG was in the works. Players can use a range of life skills, damage dealers, and more. One of the biggest differences players will experience compared to XCOM games is how the skills advance. A new image was shared on the official Mass Effect Twitter account teasing the next entry in the series, featuring a shuttle and a very tiny cast of characters seen from above. This bird's eye view doesn't give too much away, but the words Mass Effect will continue tells all, meaning this is to do with the next title and a continuation. BioWare released this year the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which remastered and added to the trilogy of games Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. Along with this release was the news that a new entry in the Mass Effect series was in development. Adding to the tradition of celebrating N7 Day, this new image reminds fans that the next game is underway. Previously, BioWare had also confirmed that several veterans from the original Mass Effect team have returned to work on the new game. Another game delay announcement this week is for the indie title The Waylanders, which will now be releasing on February 2nd, 2022, instead of its planned date of November 16th. The co-founder Fernando Prieto explained that in order to give fans a quality experience, the studio has decided to push back the release date. The game is currently in early access and was supposed to launch this month, but due to COVID, there has been setbacks in development, meaning more time is needed. The game is currently available through Steam and GOG Early Access, with updates with improvements coming to zones The Cave of Eternity and Fomorian World in the Corrupted Cove. A new trailer has also been released which covers advanced classes coming to the Waylanders with the full release. The Waylanders is currently in early access on Steam and GOG. The full launch will now be happening on February 2nd, 2022. Neowiz and Round 8 Studio have released a gameplay trailer featuring upcoming Souls-like Lies of P. The latest Souls-like title takes inspiration from Carlo Collodi's Pinocchio classic novel, giving it a creepy twist in this action RPG. The developer behind Lies of P is Round 8 Studio, who developed Bless Unleashed. The main character takes a Souls-like approach, sporting a prosthetic arm, while battling it out against these monstrous-looking dolls. From the Steam page, the game is outlined to be set in an abandoned city of Krat, where you wake up with a note that reads, "Find Mr. Geppetto, he's here in the city." In this version of the story, you play as Pinocchio, a puppet mechanoid who is on a quest to find this mysterious person. The city is now home to unspeakable horrors, some of which you can see in the trailer, a dark fairy tale world. The mechanical arm has additional tools or weapons such as a grappling hook, not too dissimilar to Sekiro, but comes with additional tools or weapons. This week, Amazon Games released a PTR or public test realm for New World, giving players a chance to preview builds for upcoming major updates. One new weapon that will be coming to New World is the Void Gauntlet, which is described as a magical DPS or support hybrid weapon that scales both with intelligence and focus, which means it will pair great with the life staff and other magical weapons. The weapon falls into the Annihilation tree, which features maximizing damage at a close range with the Void Blade, a summoned blade dealing corrosive void energy. Then there is the Decay tree, which offers healing and debuffs for the Orb of Decay, which fires a dual phase projectile that can debuff enemies and heal allies. This will make the Void Gauntlet a great match for group combat and will bolster your allies. There are also a number of changes and additions coming to the game, which include a new unified trading post, new missions, enemy types, PvP faction missions, new quests, and more. All those who own New World can access the PTR through Steam and give player feedback on their experience. Celebrating a decade of Skyrim, those who own the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim edition will have gained a new feature this week, fishing. This is part of the free update. Fishing will include 20 different varieties of fish that you can catch, cook, mount, or use to turn into potions. Bethesda shared that 20 new aquatic species will be available as part of this feature. The fish will also be pretty beneficial if you're playing survival mode, where you will experience hunger, fatigue, and other ailments. The fishing update also can be used to gain alchemist ingredients with many interesting new combinations, so it might be worth experimenting with these new possibilities. Bethesda previously announced the release of the Skyrim Anniversary Edition, which makes 10 years of adventuring, adding over 500 pieces of content from the Creation Club, new quests, dungeons, bosses, weapons, and spells in a tidy bundle. Those who have the Skyrim Special Edition will gain 3 new features, fishing, survival mode, and new quests with Saints and Seducers. This week brings the highly anticipated closed network test for Elden Ring. Those who were lucky enough to get an invite to try out the game on consoles will be able to experience a demo version of the game, which includes 5 classes and mounted combat. We have also been releasing a few videos that cover our experience in a hands-on preview where we played 70 hours covering everything from game mechanics, builds, classes, spirit steed, bosses, legacy dungeons, and more. We'll also be streaming this weekend on Twitch, so if you want to check out the gameplay live with us, be sure to drop by, or you can check out our VODs. We also have more videos for your perusal, such as our 10 biggest takeaways from the game and whether you should pre-order Elden Ring. Stay tuned on our Fextralife YouTube channel, or better yet, subscribe and visit our Fextralife website for more Elden Ring content. For all things Elden Ring, you can also visit our wiki, as we'll be updating it with all the latest info. Also this week, developer Piranha Bytes has announced the release date for Elex 2, which will be coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on March 1st, 2022. The first title, Elex, was released in 2017 as a single-player action RPG by the same developer who worked on the Gothic and Risen series. In Elex 2, players will return to the post-apocalyptic set sci-fi world of Magellan. The world is a mix of sci-fi and medieval-looking fantasy. The Elex 2 Collector's Edition has also been announced, which features an alb statue, cleric's keychain, hardcover art book with 80 plus pages, original soundtrack on the CD, Cassandra concept album on the CD, and a unique steelbook. Well, that's it for the week in the wikis. Please join us again next week for yet another great week of gaming. Remember to check out our VIP program for some exclusive supporter benefits. And budding writers should take advantage of our Become an Author initiative. Thanks again for being part of this great community. Keep checking in with us with news, reviews, YouTube streams and vids, and general wiki goodness.